Welcome to the Epoxy Business Podcast.
Proud member of the Woodpreneur Network, home of the #1 podcast in the wood industry. I'm Steve from Acres of Timber and Woodpreneur Life, and along with my co-host Jake from Ol Loggin Sawmill, we'll be diving into the world of resin and epoxy every week. If you're a maker or wood entrepreneur interested in learning the ins and outs of the epoxy business, this is the place for you. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy this episode.
The Epoxy Business Podcast is proudly sponsored by
Ol Loggin Epoxy, the premier epoxy and resin system for professional makers and wood business owners. Making exceptional products starts with the right tools and materials. Visit ollogginepoxy.com today and find out how to take your projects to the next level. Once again, that's ollogginepoxy.com.
Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of the Epoxy Business Podcast. I'm your host, Steve.
Co-host Jake from Ol Loggin Sawmill.
And today's guest is David Pingrenon from Rotten Stump Creations. He is a distributor out in British Columbia. So how you doing, David?
I'm doing well today. How are you guys today?
We're great. I'm glad to have you on because I feel like Ol Loggin, in terms of Canada, is very well represented on the East Coast. And so, our West Coast distributor definitely needs some love. So tell us about your business. What's Rotten Stump Creations?
It's just, I got sick of doing a day job and I just was looking for something to do. I've always liked making stuff, artistically with my hands. I like stuff that comes out of the art side of your brain, writing poems, playing guitar, stuff like that. That's just not really, blue collar work. So I had a friend of mine, he's on Instagram as well. And I saw what he was doing. He was making tables. And I thought it was really cool. The first table that came out, it was this awesome swirl of brown and golds. Not even a fan of those two colors, but together it made this great scene with the wood in the backdrop. And I went, I wonder how hard that is. And I just looked into it, asked him a bunch of questions, and I did a lot of woodworking in my life. So I just went, hey, you know what? I'm just going to try this out. And I grabbed the hardest table I could think of, which was a solid color with a clear on top. And if I can make the hardest table work, I could probably do this. And it came out looking really nice. And I've just haven't stopped since then.
That's awesome.
Cool. That's cool. I like the fact that you just jumped right in and did the hardest table you could do, because
it also tests your epoxy, right? Like if you have a epoxy that is subpar, doing a clear pour is not going to go well. So
impossible.
It's just, you got to get those bubbles out. If you don't have the right viscosity or the right cure times to allow the bubbles to escape, if you're not using a vacuum chamber or whatever process you're using, it just goes to shit, really.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing this, David?
Oh, not too long, like three years, maybe 3.5.
Well, you're a pioneer of it because it's only been around for like 5 years.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, what's great about this?
I take a lot of pointers when I see you doing your stuff over there, Jake. I'm watching your stuff. I'm a busy guy. I work 2 full-time jobs basically, but I'm watching. If I'm not commenting, I'm liking everything you're putting out down there.
Oh, I see it too, man. I love it. You work 2 jobs and do this at the same time?
I do. Yeah, it's a stretch. I also have a brand new baby. So it's
that's fun.
My life, yeah. Most days my fiance might probably wish that I don't work so much, but in the end it's I'm hoping to transition so the full-time job is making tables, doing something I actually like at the end of the day, where I don't have a boss that's telling me where to go and what to do. And I mean,
trust
everybody's
me,
dream.
All about that.
You're super creative. Like, I mean, the colors, your form, like, and he produces a lot of content, right, Jake? Like,
yes, like every day,
pumping out a lot of stuff.
And then that travel trailer bar, I just want to let you know, is sick, man. That was bad,
right? It looks pretty good in there. The colors are nice. Yeah, I want one in my. Everybody's got nice tables, but me. I mean, I build a coffee table. I put it in my living room, take some pictures, and then it gets sold and it moves on. So I do have a nice coffee table pretty often, but they got to go out the door.
Yeah, that's
they gotta go.
I rotate my coffee tables all the time.
Yeah, I got a pink one. I'm like pinks out there, but it's going to look really good. It's got a burled piece of acacia with it, and it's just going to look awesome. It's going to look so good. And that's our table. Unless someone offers me a stupid amount of money, it's just going to stay in my living room this time.
Well, that table's badass.
It's going to look nice. And I try for the content, but it's like sometimes you're just in there going away and you're like, oh, I should have videoed those 7 things and I didn't. Yeah. Because I'm just in there in the zone, listening to some music and, you know, trying to cut or stir or pour, and, you know, putting the content up sometimes is a second thought.
It's tough. It's literally takes me longer to do the content than the job itself.
For sure. It's a lot. Sometimes you go back and the view will be like, that was the wrong angle. That was stupid.
A lot of people don't understand that until they try it. And then it's a whole different ball game.
For sure. It is. But I really like where it's going. Like right now I have 3 tables that I've been putting out orders since last November that are just order after order. And I haven't been able to do anything that was mine that I get to create and I get to be the master of. And so right now I got 3 real cool tables I'm about to pour. One is a Viking table, and I ordered a full-size Damascus axe and a shield and a drinking horn and some bone runes and stuff that's all going to go on the table.
Wow.
I got a pagan table that's coming. I got off Etsy, off another artist, I bought a Ouija board that is sick. It's got a big devil on it, and it's got all sorts of hand carved in this wood, and some amulets or amulets, some
and you're gonna put all this in a table?
Well, there's 3 separate tables. So there's the pig, there's a pagan table. It's got what are those cards? Tarot cards. I got holographic tarot cards that are going in it. And it's the third one's a Vegas table. I got a light up Vegas sign that's actually going to turn on inside the table, and I got cards and I got dice, a real Vegas key.
Dude, that's like real next. I mean, that's real next level stuff, right, Jake? Just in terms of like, right? I mean, it's moving beyond just an epoxy rivet table. It's more about like creating a memento or creating a like art, right? Like it's art, like functional art. That's really cool, man.
For sure.
Let me ask you, like, what made you, like, what was it about the epoxy that made you kind of want to go all in? Because obviously there's an investment, there's a time, there's this space that you need. Like what made you want to like use epoxy as your medium?
Well, to tell you the truth, what you just said there about like pushing the limits is I saw what people were doing immediately. And I saw after I made my first table, and it was this clear space above a gorgeous color. You know, the swirls looked nice. And then I was like, well, what else could I put on this table? Yeah. And I've seen some tables with other people putting stuff in it, but I was like, like you said, I could push this. You know, I want themed tables. I want to make that table. Like there's a table I'm going to make, and it might sound stupid to most people. In fact, my fiance laughed at me when I explained it to her, but it'll just be great content. It'll probably get people talking, and someone will take it for free. I guarantee it, which is a table with just a bunch of, you know, dildos in it. Just no wood.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah, no wood. Just dildos. That's it. Wow. All the different colors of the rainbow.
You know what? You'll reach that niche, you know, and you'll get a bunch of companies in there.
It's so funny. You know what I saw? You know what I saw? I saw a I think it's like charcuterie dick boards or something like that.
Just I saw those too.
You've seen those too, right?
Yeah.
Like a client of mine was like, "Oh, I think this is a good idea." I was like, "Dude, it's already done, and somebody's making a lot of money from it."
100%. 100%. So, I mean, we got a local sex store. There's a lot of perverts in my town, I guess, because we got a small town with a big sex store. So at worst case scenario, I'll just donate the table to them and put my name on it, you know, try to get it out there.
And you'll probably get more business from that than anything.
That's what it's about, right? I mean, you know better than most. This is a content game, you know. The more people who click on my Instagram, the more people who click on my Facebook. Oh, well, that looks cool. And they watch me build my next 10 charcuterie boards, my next 10 tables, and they go, well, what do I want to put in a table specifically for me? Because I want to put the stuff in there. It goes, you know, oh, my grandma gave me that, all those silver things, the silver hairbrush, the silver mirror. It's falling apart. Well, let me put it in a table. You'll have it forever. And your kids will have it. Your kids will have it. and we'll match it up with some really awesome, box elm or some gorgeous black walnut, and we'll just make it look good. And
With
that's
a whole
what
table full of dicks. That's just...
yeah. Or if you want a table full of dicks, for sure, I'm your guy. I'll be on those dick table days.
This is gonna be a good episode, man. I like it.
Yeah, now we're gonna have to say warning for children. Don't listen to this.
I'm sorry. Earmuffs.
That's
so I've always wanted to cope. I'm like a year out on table build, so I always get commissioned just do like the full colors and stuff. And I'm so badly got so much stuff in my mind that I want to use my imagination. Where I'm just so busy on creating other people's stuff. But we're getting ready to do our office table, and that's going to be my first table that will be mine. And so I can't wait to do something like you're talking about. I want to do something completely off the wall, completely different than what everybody else is used to me doing. And then making that content, other people, like you said, David, other people be like, oh, I want something in my table. I want a little Yoda or Darth Vader or Star Wars.
Sure, I saw you putting that Yoda going, should I put it here? And I was like, yes, put it there. Put it there, Jake.
I was baiting. I was fishing. I was fishing for somebody to be like, yes, and I want it. Or put a Darth Vader in there or do something like that. So that's what I was doing on my stories. I was fishing, but I didn't get any bites on that. But then I sold that table in 30 minutes once I posted it, so it worked.
Of course you did. These tables, if they're done well, they sell.
Yeah, I know.
It would be really cool in a table anywhere in your building would be a table with one of those old push-pull two-ended saws.
Yeah.
And on the saw had script, and make your business slogan or sawmill.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Good idea.
So, Dave, what made you go with Ol Loggin Epoxy? What do you like about our product?
Well, honestly, I had a friend, Bonnie. He was given some free product to try out. He said it was really good. So I contacted, I believe it was Alan, and it was Alan, and Alan contacted me. Super nice guy. He talked me up. He told me all about it. Told me what they're doing, what the future looked like, and I said I could send it over. And I won't say the competitor's name that I was using, but had some big problems with them. They're a big deal too. They put themselves on social media like they're really the best in the world, and it ain't. I was having endless problems, but I don't really talk shit about other people. But the Loggin product was great.
Yeah,
I mean, the pour was great. The cure time was great. The bubble release was good. And like I said, my thing is the clear tables with stuff in it, and I was seeing like it was nothing. Like it was not even water, because water's so polluted these days. You can only see 4 inches, but it's like, I mean, it was right there. All these things I was putting in the table. So, and then the real seller is he sent me a video of Jake giving a speech. I don't know if that video's got a name, but you're kind of talking
the
about
motivational, the call to Jesus moment where he.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, that's what came down, and I heard Jesus' voice in my. Jake's voice in my sleep. Come to a Loggin. And so I tried it out, and it was really good. I mean that video was really well done. I was looking for a family more than a hey, this is invoice number 361. Where's our payment? And I got that out of this company. I've spoken to Jake personally. We haven't met, but I've spoken to him personally on Instagram. I've had questions. I've asked him, hey, could you ship this if you could find it? And he was right there. I mean, respond time was quick for, the head of a business, the head of a company to respond to you. Like, that's pretty unheard of.
Yeah.
And that was a big selling point. It's a family. I sell my ambassadors on, hey, these are our chats. You sign up with us, you preach what you do with this epoxy, and you show people how it works. Yeah. And you get on our chats, and we're going to answer your questions. We're going to support you. We're going to share for you. If something messes up, call us, text us. We're going to have a solution somewhere in this group, because there's a lot of really good artists in all of our chats and all of our.
There's a lot of great artists. I'm really feeling the artist angle, the artist community with the resin. Really, really cool.
Yeah, and we're all putting out a lot of good stuff from what I see. Like even some of the guys I've talked to, like, hey, I'm about to pour my first big table. And it's like, that's a scary moment when you're here dumping $1,000, $1,500, $2,500 with epoxy into a table. And, you walk them through it. And at the end, they're just a shit-eating grin going, look at my table. And they're putting up all the content. And you're like, yeah, the the group did this with you, as a takes a village, right?
Yeah.
So I like that mentality.
That was our whole angle on this. It's this is just a second deal for Steve and I. So for us, it's more about the community. It's more about bringing everybody together, because once we all support each other, it spreads like wildfire, man. It like everybody wants to be a part of the community and part of doing stuff like this where we're helping each other out and building each other up. There's millions and millions of people in this world, and there's a little piece for all of us to take.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. So
I think it's such a competition in a lot of cities and a lot of places, especially with the brands. They try to force you against each other a little bit. Our brand's better. It's bring it on. I will help a guy in my own town buy epoxy and make a charcuterie board, because I like the competition, man. If you make a better board, I'll learn from you. If I make a better board, learn from me. Maybe we'll do a collaboration, because there's a lot of good collaborations going on too with different art styles right now.
That's great. That's a great outlook, man. That's what does the future hold for you and your company? Where would you like to take it?
Well, just like everybody with a small business, man, grow. And right now I'm just upgrading machinery. There's a 48-inch drum sander that I really like the look of, and there's a full-size table CNC machine that I'm loving. And it's just all gonna come. You gotta have the building for it. My building is almost maxed out at this point, and my fiance has 2 kids, and I just had my first child, and leaving something for them to be proud of, to work with their hands and use their the left side of their brain instead of handling a shovel or a machine in the future, is something that I'd be really proud of to leave to my children. So that's kind of the goal, is to leave a little bit of me when I go, with a company name and an idea on how to make something that is beautiful in someone's home. Functional art is what I like to say. Is you got a table, well, I got an art piece you sit at. It's kind of what I'm shooting for.
That's really cool. Yeah, you actually brought up an idea, and I feel like everybody that's listening, you and Jake, would appreciate it. So I think people have heard my story that I married into like 2 generations of woodworkers and tree farmers and sawyers, right? And I remember I was talking to my father-in-law, who has, the sawmill business, and he was talking about his father-in-law, who was like the matriarch. He was like the builder. He was in the 80s still building everything. You know what I mean? Like 80s, like he died at like 90. I think he built his last thing when he was like 88, right? Like he was he got so much stimulation from it. And when he died, literally all of his furniture is with all of his, he had like 20 grandkids, great grandkids, right? Like bunch of grandkids.
That's awesome.
And my father-in-law was like, yeah, you die 2 times. And this is like literal motivation, or like you die 2 times. 1 is when you physically die, and 2 is when people stop saying your name. And even now, he died, 6 years ago. His name is Marv Thrasher. I'm still talking about him because he left a legacy of all this furniture and inspiration and land. Like, I made a charcuterie board. I named it after him because the cherry wood came from his land. And I feel like that's literally what we're doing. Like, we're building all of your pieces, everything that we're building together is in everybody's homes, and people are going to say your name for forever. Like,
this is kind of cool.
It's
my
so
grandfather,
cool.
He owned an antique shop for about 60 years.
Wow.
And he would buy furniture, and he'd redo furniture all the time. And sitting behind me is a bar from the Heralds of London.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's original, a cool bar.
Original work order from 1916, all bird's eye maple and whatever. And when he passed away, I kept all his carving tools and a lot of the hands-on tools he was using for 40, 50, 60 years. And I use those tools every day in my shop. And it's Alex. His name was Alex Pingrenon.
Yeah, awesome.
And I honestly, now that you said that, it kind of like little shivers up my spine going, I should probably say his name more, because I just, I should probably start saying Alex Pingrenon did this.
I mean, listen, if you want to get even deeper, what helps preserve the wood even more? Epoxy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's right.
Epoxy is a legacy building material. Like,
it is, for sure. Yeah.
Good pun there.
I just recently had a guy trust me with his ball cards. He's like, I had these when I was a kid. I want a side table.
Pressure.
And it was pressure. It's yeah, exactly. Especially when you're dealing with a material that absorbs a little liquid. It's hard to deal with. It's hard to preserve without changing the way it looks. And hey, it worked.
Awesome.
And it'll look good forever, preserving that stuff for people. And that's what I like. That's what I want people coming to me for is, hey man, can you just encase this like a mosquito in Jurassic Park? I just, let's not bring the dinosaurs back, but this doll needs to stay special forever.
For sure.
Oh, that's cool. That's great.
Maybe I got a question for Jake here. What's coming down the line for Ol Loggin? What's new? What's happening?
Oh man, we're getting ready to go to Canada tomorrow, actually, Steve, right? We're going to Canada to go to lab service and look at the manufacturing and all that kind of
meet the chemist, meet the team, meet the plant. You know what I mean?
Too bad you didn't live closer to there. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it's quite a wide country.
I'm
all the way.
Yeah, California to New York, basically. Yeah.
If you guys are to come here, though, come here in the winter because I live.
I know Revelstoke. I know where you are. I'm
on the Powder Highway, so you make sure you show up right in like January, February, and we'll hit the mountain for one of those 30, 40-inch days. And
oh my God!
We'll chuck you off some mountains.
I love British Columbia. British Columbia I love British Columbia. It's amazing.
Yeah, so British Columbia is really good. I was a truck driver for years driving around here, and then Revelstoke is next level. I mean, we're in the middle of a valley with peaks and glaciers, and when a thunderstorm comes through here, car alarms are going off everywhere because it reverberates between these, and the dam helps too. We got a big dam here. It's just
the first time I ever smelled the color green was in British Columbia. I was like, this is like what fresh air smells like. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Even in front of the elementary schools, you're like, smells like green over here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
A different green, yes. That green is
it's everywhere.
Dude, so tell us, how can people follow you? What's your Instagram website?
At Rotten Stump Creations. Rotten Stump Creations on Facebook. All my information's up on there. You can contact me with message. You can call me if you want. My phone's on all the time. I'll just chat you up if you want help. You don't necessarily got to buy any epoxy off me. You don't got to order a table. I just like helping people get their get this art going, because the more of us there are, the more there's going to be just going to push the art. The more cool things that are going to happen. I got lots of things in my brain, and I'm sure you guys too. I know Jake does. Where it's like, just give me 3 days to just figure out how I can pull this off. And I don't care if it's me or not. I just want to see the next cool step.
Cool. That's awesome,
David,
man.
You do a hell of a good job, man. You do some amazing work, and I love the content you're doing. And you just keep up that great work, man. You're definitely representing us very well, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for repping us in British Columbia and supporting and being a distributor.
Yeah, no, I'm here. Whenever, just shoot me messages if you guys want to talk about anything.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much, David.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing a lot of live feeds too. So we'll collaborate on some of that as well here in the future.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me. You guys have a great day.
Have a great one. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Epoxy Business Podcast, proudly sponsored by Ol Loggin Epoxy. Make sure you subscribe and follow us so you don't miss the next episode. For more information on other offerings from the Woodpreneur Network, you can check out woodpreneurlife.com. We'll see you next week.